What is up, everybody? I am George Mossey. Say hello to my co-host, Heather C. This is the George Mossey Show. We are talking Extreme Sisters, Season 2, Episode 7. Oh, first things first, we did not get the Capasso triplets this week, so we'll have to check back in with them next week to see how that fundraiser is going that their family has already decided that they are going to screw up somehow. All right, so let's check in with Anna and Lucy. So it's dentist surgery day. They're getting their teeth extracted. And I think it's interesting that Anna, who has had the infected tooth for like 3 years, Lucy told Anna that she should go first because she's the older twin. And I'm thinking, well, you don't have any pain or discomfort. So wouldn't Anna go first because she's the one who's been suffering for so many years? So the dentist saw it that way. So that is how he took the twins. But they had a really hard time with this surgery. They really, really feel like they're not the same anymore. And they kind of had a little breakdown, like even in the dentist's office and even at home. And it's really interesting because this was a medical procedure needed to make sure that one of the twins was medically okay. And then the other one was just a procedure to make sure that the twin felt good about the situation. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like they're taking it too far? Do you feel like being the same is impossible? It's impossible for two people to be one person. Like, do you feel like they're going to have to just accept that?
I've always felt that way. I think that they take it a little too far, to the extreme. I never see a problem with dressing alike, or even if they wanted to like order the same food or whatever, like I don't have a problem with all the basic stuff. But when it comes down to like medical procedures, dating the same person, like to me, I don't see why that's necessary. Like, even though you were born in this world as a twin, you have obviously this connection that most people are not going to understand, especially ones that don't have a twin or sibling for that matter at all. But what I don't understand is that, don't you want to be your own person? Like, you were given your own identity, even though you look like someone else, you were given your own identity, your own name. Because if that was the case, wouldn't it be Anna, Lucy? You know what I mean? Like, they have different names. That alone doesn't make them the same. Anna and Lucy doesn't even start with the same letter. There are some parents that get creative and all their kids' names start with the same letter, and they don't even have that. And I hope I just didn't open up Pandora's box. It's something else they're going to freak out about. But I don't know. I feel bad because they're obviously suffering with this. And it's deeply rooted, but they're two individual people. Just embrace it.
So they're working at a restaurant and the for about 3 weeks, and the manager sent them flowers, to tell them that they were thinking about them and hope that they can recover safely and come back to work. And it sparked up a conversation where they feel like working is making them too different. They can't be alike. They're doing different tasks. And I think on the next episode, they're going to stop working this job. And I feel like this job was the one ray of hope for them to maybe grow into being individuals. And I feel like they were doing well, and it seemed like they were accepting it well because, in the restaurant business, things get crazy. You can't really think about OCD, or you can't really think about being the exact same person when you have so many tasks to do in such a small amount of time. So I felt like this job was a great outlet for them to grow. And I feel like if they leave this job, it's going to be all bets are off. They're going to continue to try to be the same, and then they're not going to be able to find employment. And I just don't know if this is like, I know that they say that they're happy this way, but are they really happy this way? Because when they had to remove the tooth and they saw the space in the mouth and it didn't match, it really, really hurt deeply. And like, are they really truly happy this way?
I think, like I said, I think a lot of it is deeply rooted, and I don't really think they are. I think that they are struggling to find an identity, but they're scared to do it.
All right, so I want to talk about Jessica and Christina. So apparently, John and Jessica told Christina that the meeting in the park went well, which I find interesting that Christina believes that because they're psychically connected. So I feel like Christina probably knows in the back of her mind that Jess is lying because I feel like they know each other's thoughts. But Christina hasn't really commented on it on the show. So maybe she's letting things play out. So we watched them come up with a charcuterie board. And I want to say they refer to it as a coochie board, where they were preparing Josh for reproduction, even though he hadn't really agreed to it, but they did consent and ask first. And Christina was there in FaceTime. She was there unaware, unannounced. Josh. She was a part of that conversation. And I felt like it was such an awkward interaction because Josh was just there thinking he was having dinner with his girlfriend, everything was good, and he was actually being like harvested for sperm. Like it was very, very crazy. And he didn't like run away because when Jessica got up to go to the bathroom and she left him alone in the dining room, that was his
I thought
cue
it
to yeah, to grab his stuff and run away, change his phone number, never. So he is not completely off board with this because any normal guy would have been like, this is my chance. I'm gone. I don't have to, we're not married. We don't have kids. She's not pregnant. There's no ties to us whatsoever. He did have a conversation with her about it. He stayed there while she went in the bathroom and she came back. He was still there willing to talk. So I don't think that this is a lost cause, but the time is ticking because Christina is already pregnant. So, in order for Jessica and Christina to be pregnant at the same time, she needs to get pregnant soon because pregnancies only last 9 months. And Christina is showing in this scene. So, there isn't a whole lot of time left. So, do you think that Jessica wants a baby with Josh because she loves him? Or do you think Jessica wants a baby with Josh because Christina's having a baby with John and they just have to be the same? Like, where do you feel? Because that's kind of where Josh is at too.
I'm gonna say both. I'm gonna say she does love him and she wants to be with him. But I don't think they got to the point in their relationship where they figured if this is long term or not. Like it's still the beginning of a relationship. They're still, vibing and getting to know each other. And I think a lot of it has to do with her sister and wanting to be the same, you know. I don't think that it would be in Anna and Lucy situation though. Like I think that if it doesn't work out that way for Jess, I don't think that she's gonna have like a breakdown and be like, oh my God, we're not the same, like we're not pregnant at the same time. Like I think she'll handle it a little bit better. I applaud her for like going after what she wants. I mean, she had a way of doing it. It was very creative. And, it takes a lot of guts to like be honest with somebody and tell somebody that you want something, especially something that's going to affect the other person, something that's long term. Because even if they were in a relationship for several years, that's still a big commitment. So to just kind of put everything aside and just be like, I want a baby with you, like that's big. So I commend her for, putting it out there on the table. Now they opened a new chapter. So if this is something that he wants as well, maybe now with the door open, they can actually talk about it. He obviously didn't know that this is something she wanted. So maybe now that she had the guts to say something, they can actually discuss it further and see if it's in their cards or not.
Well, next week, or the preview that they showed us, they showed her taking a pregnancy test. So that makes me wonder if she is pregnant because apparently Christina was pregnant and no one knew. She kept it a secret. So it could be very possible that Jessica was pregnant as well during this filming process and we didn't know. And I feel like I'm an internet sleuth, like
Mm.
the Instagram and everything. But I was defeated by Christina. I did not know that she was pregnant. So it could be possible that Jessica and Josh did work this out because coming from him, he said that he definitely wants kids. He doesn't have any, and he knows that Jessica is a good mother because she's the mother to Preston. So it's not really a huge boundary in the relationship. It's just like he said, this is something that you would plan. We don't just go to dinner one day and say, let's have a baby tomorrow. This is something they would want to plan. Like, what about their living situation? Would he live with Jessica? Would they buy a house together? she moved him. Like, I understand from his point of view, he wants to make sure that everything is in order before they make this huge step. Because, like you said, this is linking them together for the rest of their lives. There's absolutely no way that they can cut ties with each other once they bring this baby into the world, no matter how much they disagree, no matter if they break up and get remarried, it doesn't matter. They are going to be linked forever. So I think that he's being responsible by wanting to plan it out and make sure that their lives intertwining is a good idea, because it's interesting the situation with her sister already, as we're watching it with John and Christina. So it's like you have to make sure that you're okay with the twin dynamic and them being so close and the lives being intertwined, because you're marrying into, or you're bringing yourself into that relationship. And I think John is having a lot of problems with that. He didn't really take into consideration the dynamic of the two women before he got into that, and now they're kind of suffering because now he realizes my life is now forever intertwined with Jessica, who I didn't choose. I didn't marry her, I didn't have a child with her, but I am still intertwined with her forever. And I feel like Josh is kind of seeing that, and he's like, well, I want to make sure that our lives being intertwined in her sister's life and her sister's husband and children, like, we have to make sure that that's something that we want. I think that's mature. And like you said, Jessica, that took a lot for you, and don't feel like you were rejected. Like, I feel like he just took in the information, and like Christina said, he's gonna process it. Men are processors. They don't really make quick decisions, hence why women have to tend to wait so long to get their engagement rings. Men need to process things at their own very slow sloth pace. It's very slow. So I think that this is a good step for you guys, and I want you to be pregnant with your sister, but again, it doesn't need to be rushed. And I think that's the main topic of this story. Don't rush into it. As long as it happens and everyone is happy, it's great. You're not gonna be any distant from your sister if you're not pregnant at the same time. I know this is the first time that they haven't been pregnant at the same time, so it's going to be a bit hard, but it is what it is. You guys are always going to be close, because look at that. They stopped talking for 4 months, and now they're back to the way things were, like it never happened. So I know that that bond is never going to be broken.
Yeah, I think that they're strong enough to get through anything now.
I do too. All right, guys, that's it for part one. We're going to come back for part two and talk about the rest of the couples. V and Ashley had a very, very heated discussion regarding the surrogacy situation, and we have to break that down because I was really shocked at how intense it got. All right, guys, I'm George Mossey. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, georgemossey.com, and anywhere you get your podcast. And please follow my co-host as well. Her links are right here at the bottom. We'll talk to all of you guys really soon.